Vincent Faber comes from the world of NGOs and heads the Trafigura Foundation. The foundation is over 5 years now, and it's time to see what the next steps are. Vincent, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nicolette.
Vincent, you have this year opened the Puma Energy Foundation. Why is that?
We needed to create this Puma Energy Foundation, which really focuses on programs which are in the surroundings of our Puma Energy offices and areas of work, of operations, so that this connection with our staff, Puma Energy staff, and the programs we are supporting could be built, and where people could feel then comfortable in engaging into those programs. Puma Energy is more embedded into communities. There is a real interface with the man on the street, if you wish. It's about filling stations, so on roads, in communities, in cities, in urban areas, in rural areas as well. So the connection with communities, with the people, the mainstream people on the street, is quite tight. So indeed that brings the work of the foundation into something which is definitely so strongly community-oriented, and that's perhaps a difference with the Trafigura Foundation operation.
The three pillars of your action are sustainable development, education and integration, and health.
Yes.
What are the various projects that you have initiated recently? And I'd like you to speak in particular of the Apopo rats demining initiative.
It's indeed a very interesting endeavor. And Apopo is a fascinating story because it's a social enterprise which has developed a kind of a low-cost demining technique through rats, African rats, which have an extraordinary sense of smell, which allows them to quickly spot where the landmines are. And that facilitates, indeed, the clearing. The idea is with those, I think there's something like 40-50 rats which are specifically trained in that purpose, with some 50 as well rat handlers, which work on clearing the land and securing the land and releasing the land so it can be then used by the communities for their agricultural activities, and then indeed providing themselves, giving food to themselves.
You have another initiative that you've been following for now 5 years, I think, since the beginning, and these are the Dumas work and land centers. There was one in Stanford, I believe, and now a new one's been opened in New Orleans. Yeah. How does it work? What's new about this project?
What's interesting here is that we have just seen with Apopo how the foundation contemplates, let's say, rural development through agriculture in southern country, third world country, to make it short, in rural areas. Now, this example is a good illustration of what can be done in more affluent countries, Western countries, the United States of America in this case, in urban areas. And the key word here is employability. I mean, we started this program indeed very early, I think in 2009 or something like this, working on marginalized youth, kids that were caught into violence, gangs, criminality, drug addictions. And we are true believers that they ought to be given a second chance, and they ought to be given the means to concretize that second chance. So we decided with Dumas, which is a local charity in Stamford, that's in Connecticut, very close to New York, working on this program, work and learn center, where those kids aged between 14 and 25 would be given soft skills, but also hard skills, and that could help them find a new path, a new way in life, a dignified and productive life in society. I like to say that we're trying to turn them from tax consumers through all the assistance schemes that are given to them into real contributors to society as taxpayers. And that's, I think, a good illustration to understand what is really behind the whole program.
Another purpose that you're trying to fulfill in this particular initiative is to fight prejudice.
Absolutely.
In this case, prejudice against women.
Yeah, in those marginalized environments, social contexts, I mean, the way men, or boys, shall I say, look at girls is pretty rough, to say the least. And I think it's also our role to, let's say, sensitize on these type of issues and try to create a different way the boys can look at girls, more respectful way boys can look at girls. So we have encouraged our partner in New Orleans, who's called the Youth Empowerment Project, to work on schemes, let's say, moving a bit away from the classical, a bit sexist type of patterns where the boys would repair bicycles and the girls would paint nails or do some hairdressing. So we wanted to break that image, and we have asked them to start working on integrating girls into the bike repair shop.
Vincent, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Nicolette. It has been a real pleasure.